Hello, 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 hello there. How are you? It's Casey here. I hope you're well. You see my cat in the background jumping around. Let me know if you are coming into the room, if you can see me or hear me. Welcome, 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 everyone. How are we doing? I just jogged into the room here. So I hope you guys are abundantly well. You should see the screen roll in, and you should be able to come in to the room itself. There we go. Just checking to make sure. Yep, I am coming in clear. Great. So we are live. Welcome, you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to take this opportunity to do a webinar, a Q&A for you guys today, essentially all about Elite Webinar Mastery, which of course is my webinar program. It closes tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific. And I'm going to do a presentation today as well as answer your questions. And I wanted to create clarity for you on this for this program. I wanted it to get really crystal clear, and I also wanted to talk about some killer bonuses that I've just rolled in that are actually going to be only available till 5 p.m. today. On top of that, I have some brand new glasses. Can you see? I have some brand new glasses. My round ones I've hung up, and now I have some new ones that I'm sporting. So hope this looks okay. But if you can hear me, there should be a chat box on this page. Feel free to put your if your name and email should already be in there, but go ahead and put your question. If you have any questions, or do let me know. There's an answer. There's a question that just sort of popped up into the box right now saying, welcome to the event. Are you using webinars in your business right now? Let us know below. That's the first question I want to ask you. Are you using webinars in your business? If that is the case, let us know. Put your response in the chat question below, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to answer too many questions as of now, but I will be going in and answering your questions, excuse me, by the end, okay? But do start to ask questions. Get in there and start asking questions right now. If you have anything specific about the program itself, now is the time to ask. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually teach and talk about what essentially Elite Webinar is, but more so about webinars, the power of webinars, and I'm going to really dive into both live and automated webinar training, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is take me off the screen. As you can see, I'm here. I'm on the screen doing my thing. We're in my office here. The cat's on the ground, as you can see right there. Now, you're watching this inside of Easy Webinar, and as such, there's going to be, because I use Google Hangouts and YouTube Live using Easy Webinar, there's about a 10-second delay now. There's actually a very little delay now, whereas opposed there was a stronger delay in the past. Oh, she's stalking a bird. You're actually going to see her stalk a bird. That's really weird. Hopefully you don't see her like trampling the bird. That would be terrible. So let's actually go in. I'm going to start going into my presentation. And if you have any questions, as I said, feel free to start asking. Ask away in the box below, and we'll be essentially rocking out here. So let me go into my presentation. I'm going to share my presentation, this one right here. Here we go. So now we are sharing that presentation. So again, feel free, as I said, ask questions, and I will be getting to them. I see some of you guys are coming in, and welcome to everybody who is coming into the room. All right, so let's talk about how to build a profitable and recurring business using the power of automated webinars and events. I kind of use events and webinars the same. They're pretty much the same exact thing. So here's a first question to ask. It's 100 times harder to rise above the noise with your message today. What do you think? It's 100 times harder to rise above the noise with your message today. Do you feel that that's true or false? What do you think? Well, for me, I believe that it's false, because I think with the proper tools, message, and value, you can easily rise above the noise. You just have to have a few key skills in order to do it. So how does this event essentially how does it apply to you? How does this, what we're talking about, apply to what you're going through right now? Well, here's the thing that we all seem to face, that creating a thriving business and finding engaged customers can be a big pain in the butt and utterly frustrating. So if you're someone who has a service-based business or a product creator or a school or university, maybe you're branding yourself personally, maybe you're trying to build leads online to drive people into your offline store. Any of these scenarios, if they are close to what you're going through, then this presentation is going to be right for you. And I want to ask you, would you like to walk away knowing the most engaged methods for driving leads into sales? Now, when I say most engaged, this is actually true. There are sales systems out in the market right now and there are probably two or three that are popular, that are happening right now. But I can say, because of the industry standard that we're seeing, that the webinar funnels, more than any other funnels, are the most profitable out there. And that's really what we're talking about here. These beat out old sales systems by 5 to 10%. Also, would you like a blueprint for automating your profitability? So this is a step-by-step process that will essentially allow you to do other things while it works to make you money. So let's say you want to go spend time with your family, or focus on the parts of your job or business that really make sense. Or maybe you're someone who has a side hustle or side job, or doing this as a side job, and you want to continue to do the side job but still work full time, and you know end up making an additional maybe a few $100 a day, right? Or that as a start, and then test it out, see where it goes. Maybe you make $1,000 a day eventually you may want to quit your day job. But maybe you are starting off to where you have a day job still, or you have a full-time job that you're not unhappy with, but maybe you wanted to try something else. Maybe you need more income for your family, maybe you need more income for your lifestyle. Maybe you're trying to change your lifestyle, change your life. I mean, this is ultimately what this program does, and what webinars can do is they can transform your life. Now, I know that's a bold statement to say, but there's truth in that statement, because I'm an example of that exact statement. And I'm going to show you a couple other people who are examples of that exact statement as well, where, they incorporated webinars, but they incorporated a system, and that system eventually changed their life, where now they have more time, more freedom. They live in a different, live where they want to live. They can support their family. They aren't working for somebody else. They're working for themselves. And that is a complete 180, 360 degree shift, right? I'd say 180, right? 360 is going back to the same place. So the 180 degree shift into the direction that they want to go in. And finally, would you like tools designed to provide you more engagement, authority, and sales? In other words, if we're talking about marketing, we're talking about conversions. And conversions were my biggest struggle for years. So that's why I'm going to promise to you today these elements. And as someone who had problems with conversions, I had to go through that, the pain of knowing what was converting and what wasn't. How do people, what resonates and what doesn't. So I promise today I'm going to show you and how you can create and implement an online event, which is essentially the highest converting tool on the planet, and how you can do literally a terrible webinar and still make money. And I'm going to show you the power of automated webinars to create continuous revenue streams for scalability. And this goes back to that transformation. I'm going to really dive in also, for those conversion geeks and the people that really want to know kind of the true setup, pull away the curtain. What are we actually seeing here? Well, I'm going to show 2 top converting automated webinar funnels that myself and my clients use to generate consistent and passive income, and how automated webinars are killing traditional launches by more than 5%. And finally, the tool and the training to get step-by-step clarity on it all. So when I was mentioning transformation, these are some people that had those moments of transformation. Jason Caruso was one of our first customers and clients, and he had a side job. Actually, he had a full-time job, and he needed to create extra income for his family. And so he was forced to run an automated webinar because he didn't have the time to go live with a live webinar. And so he did $13,000 on his first webinar, which was pre-recorded and it was automated. And for those who don't know what automated webinars are, we're going to come on to that in a second. But this is what Jason Caruso did. And let me switch over to Kimra, who's on the other end of this. Okay. Kimra made $900,000 by using webinars to launch her course. And, she was, her husband was able to quit his job, and she moved to New York and, has since then built a couple of $1 million business at this point. And essentially using the power of webinars to do so. That's essentially what she's using, webinars to do this. So speaking of you and me, and how I kind of relate to this process, I'm Casey Zeman, and essentially I am a husband, twin brother, owner of 2 cats, and Wendell the dog. And I have been, one second. Yep, owner of 2 cats, Wendell the dog. I'm adopting from Haiti. I'm also the best-selling author of the book, Build Your Audience with Live Video. I've been online since 2011, 2012, and I'm the founder of Easy Webinar with over 6,500 customers. Been featured on NBC, CBS, and many online publications, and I built a 7-figure software and marketing company. But a lot of people don't know that I started off as an actor. And I became an actor because I wanted to inspire an emotional response in people, but I hated being a broke actor. So there's my brother and myself right there on the right in a TV show, Life. So because I didn't like being a broke actor, I then went into real estate. And I know it's a big jump to go from acting to real estate, but I went in and became a mortgage broker because I could finally make money doing it. But I was cold calling, I was pitching and feeling fake, and I felt like there had to be a better way to market. And a blessing sort of came in disguise when the recession hit, and I went from making $250,000 a year to $15K the following year. And I literally almost went into foreclosure twice. And I kind of needed a better way to market. So the journey happened in 2011. I started to learn about online marketing. And my first thing that I went into was YouTube. And the reason I went into YouTube is because, YouTube to me was exciting. It kind of felt like me going back into the acting world. And so I started making these videos and started putting them up. And I was getting people watching the videos. I could get, I had views on my videos, and my videos were getting ranked in Google. I was like, woohoo, it's getting ranked in Google. That's awesome. So you can see this is back in like 2011, my first time getting ranked on the first page of Google, by the way. So I knew that there was traffic and I could get ranking. And I started doing this for my clients. So I started getting video views happening for my clients. And some of my clients were Estee Lauder and Dell. And here is me. I'm showing Estee Lauder, my correspondence with my my rep at Estee Lauder, and how we were getting those initiatives done and getting the views and making that really work well. And we have the URL here. I was really getting it rocking. I really tapped into figuring out how to get those traffic. Now, the one thing I was having issues with, at least for myself, because I was kind of focusing on my own customers who were pretty big, big deal clients. And, it was more of a brand. They were more brand video campaigns. And also you know, the reason people were clicking through was because it was making sense for them. They were clicking through and they had these offers that they were getting right from the videos themselves. So like maybe Estee Lauder was offering a discount on some sort of skin cream when you come into the store. But I was trying to figure this out for myself. And I couldn't really tap into this. I couldn't figure it out because I didn't have a conversion or selling method yet, right? I was kind of sending something. I was like, okay, what should I do here? And, I tried to send people to a landing page and it didn't really work. So one day my brain exploded with an idea to make a video inviting people to a webinar. So I made a video essentially that was all about inviting people to a webinar, invited those people to a webinar, by the way. And then that's when I started seeing that people were coming in from YouTube and signing up to the webinar itself. And the cool thing about this is that they were signing up to a webinar. And if you notice, everyone, there should be, you may have on this page the downloadable 5 must-do things for your automated webinars and the 6 benefits for your automated webinars. That should be below this video. Just let me know. It should be below it. You should be able to see it, by the way. So anyway, I did this, and this was my first experience with webinars. And as soon as I did this is when things changed. This is when everything kind of changed in my business. And this was the time that I finally made money online. So my first dollar was using and selling with webinars. That was the first time I ever sold anything on with the power of webinars. And within my first year, 12 months of my first sale, my 12 months of sales with my first product, I did $245,000, right? And I also built a list of about 14,000. And this was me getting on track. I figured out what to do. Now, the thing about this is that I was selling my YouTube course at the time. So I built a YouTube course because I learned about YouTube, right? I actually worked with customers and clients. And then I built a course around it and sold it on a webinar. I sold it to joint venture partners, but I also sold it and put it into an automated funnel, okay, which we're going to talk about as well. But, when I first started out, I was doing terrible webinars, right? Just awful. But the cool thing is, even if you're just starting out, oftentimes you can profit from webinars. And you're probably wondering why. How is it that even if you are terrible, I mean, I was really bad. I would oftentimes stumble, forget what I'm going to say. The internet would cut out, just have these terrible moments. And, we beat ourselves up thinking, oh, we have to be perfect. But the thing is, you don't have to be perfect with webinars. And that's the power of them. You can be, average. You could be below average. You can be, you could be someone who has, a stutter or, like I have a bit of a stutter. So when, so I was always like, oh man, I'm never going to be able to speak in public because no one's going to take me seriously because I have this stutter. But you know what? Your authenticity is your gift. And because of that, webinars allow you to teach potential prospects valuable information that solidifies you as an expert in your field. They don't care if you have a stutter. It's not about that. It's about the content that you teach. If you're teaching something of value, then it doesn't matter, who you are, what you look like. It doesn't matter. And a lot of us beat ourselves up, of course. That's kind of just what we do. So they build a know, like, and trust, and you can generally sell higher ticket price products on them. Now, I've seen anywhere from $97 to $3,000 on a webinar. So in the next, we're going to be talking about what is an automated webinar coming up here. But what do you think? True or false? You can build an entire scalable business using the power of webinars and online events. Now, I want you to answer this question. What do you think? What do you think here? Because I'm really curious as to what your belief system is on this. But here's mine. I believe it's true. I mean, fully true, because I think you can invest your entire business into the power of webinars. So they allowed me to build a list of 14,000, make a comfortable 7 figures. I want to play devil's advocate and mess with your mind a little bit. You see, here's the thing though, with webinars, they still are constraints on your own personal bandwidth and time. Because yes, what's nice is they are for the, one to many ratio. But, what if you had to try to do a webinar every single day, 3 times a day? You'd get totally burnt out. That's why I want to talk to you about automated webinars, which essentially is a solution for scalability in your marketing, scalability using the top engagement strategies of webinars, which, are essentially and have been proven to be the highest and most profitable funnels around. But how do you automate the process daily? How do you get people to come to your webinars all the time? Use them as lead magnets, use them as things that will teach and solidify you as someone who's an authority without you necessarily having to be there, but yet streaming every single day in real time in your attendee's own time zone with a look and feel of live. Well, that's what an automated webinar is. You see, an automated webinar is a pre-recorded video streamed in real time. And the awesome thing about an automated webinar is that you create it once and it can work for you over and over again. And an automated webinar can be scheduled in your attendees' time zone. So if you have a worldwide audience, that means you'll get more leads and sales. And an automated webinar allows you to create your perfect presentation and create a full-blown successful funnel built around engagement. And a good automated webinar system can stream an event in real time with the look and feel of being live and in your attendee's own time zone. So for those who are here at this event, you might very well think that this is automated, or if this isn't automated, but the power of it is this. It very well could be, and you wouldn't really know the difference, right? You really wouldn't know the difference, because I can still have my team ready to answer any questions that you may have. They can follow up via email and, respond to your questions. And really the biggest difference is me responding in real time to your questions. That's the biggest difference between live and automated. But truly, you can still have all the aspects of engagement, of scarcity, of bonuses, of everything in an automated webinar, just like a live webinar. And the power of that is that now you're free to do other things that you love. So your teaching is doing the work for you. If you had all these webinars going out, and sending Facebook traffic to them or having them posted on your website, this could be what people learned from you initially, right? The very first thing that they're getting is from this automated webinar. They're learning about you. And that's the moment where, they are getting their first impression of you. And, the power of an automated webinar is that you can set up and craft, let me say it again, craft your perfect show so that you're setting up the right impression right out of the gate. Because oftentimes that's our biggest fear, right? We want to make the right impression. Marketing, it's been proven that the people that come into our funnel, generally speaking, buy within 48 hours, 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours. And as such, it's really kind of imperative to have that right connectivity and right impression right out of the gate. So, when you're sending someone to an automated webinar is a perfect way to break the ice and get them to know who you are. You share complete awesome value. And whether they buy or not, it doesn't matter. They've now have an expectation. They've learned from you. They like what they're seeing, right? That's the power of an automated webinar and an automated funnel, is that it sets you up to look as good as possible in the medium of webinars, which has been proven to be the highest and most engaged and most profitable funnels out there. So why wouldn't you focus on an automated webinar as a kind of an evergreen tool to essentially position you as that expert and authority and sell your products and services at the same time without you having to be there? That's the power of it. So when would you use an automated webinar? Well, here, I just said it, but you'd use it for all sorts of stuff. Yes, you could do it for this, which is using it to drive paid traffic. So like, let's say you're using paid YouTube traffic, right? Which I've done before, and you can get really great results from it. Or maybe Facebook ads. Facebook ads work really well as well. Making a video inside Facebook and then sending those people to a webinar sign-up page is a really good way to do it. But beyond that, there are other different methods as well. So, it doesn't always have to be paid traffic. It can be organic traffic. Maybe you're doing something with content marketing, or maybe you're doing something using the power of, let's say, just putting a video on YouTube or social media or anything, right? And getting people into that webinar. Maybe you want to have it on your website, your main website, as a way to build your list and get people to sign up for a workshop at the same time, which is like killing two birds with one stone. You're building your email list and you're allowing them to come in to kind of audit and learn right away from you, and get that impression set of you. Get that feeling like, oh, this is the guy, this is the person that I really want to learn from. I like their training, et cetera, et cetera. But here, I'll give you one that's really kind of cut and dry, pretty good. I just shared with you, of course, the Facebook ad or a paid traffic one. But here's another one. John Lee Dumas is one of the top podcasters out there, and I remember at the beginning of 2000, at the end of 2014. He and I got together because we wanted to change up what his 2015 and 16 were going to be regarding webinars. So John does live webinars. All the time still, but back in the day, he was doing it once a week, which is kind of a lot. And so what we did is we created an automated webinar for him where he could cut back on his live presentations to once a month. And now that's what he's doing. He's doing about $3,000 to $5,000 a day from his automated webinar, and it's streamed every single day. And this is his funnel, right? And you could essentially do the same exact thing. He's sending traffic from a free podcast course that he puts on iTunes, right? So he makes 10 to 15 recordings on iTunes, and he gets it ranked, right? He gets people to consume it. He tells people about it. And from that free podcast course, he then directs traffic in every single broadcast, right? Every single podcast session, right? Or show. He mentions, hey, go to, freepodcastworkshop.com, and sign up for our free workshop. So he says it in each of these broadcasts and at the same time, it's also in the description area. And so he's sending traffic directly to the workshop registration page where they sign up for the workshop. They then get emails that tell them, oh, this workshop is on this day. They then are sent to a thank you page, where on that thank you page, they can share news of the event by clicking on a social media button, which unlocks a free gift. So you can actually, once they click on that, it will unlock a free gift like a PDF or video underneath. And that's what Easy Webinar can do, by the way. He also, in the video here on the thank you page, he says, hey, also make sure you sign up to the webinar, or rather make sure you save the date. So click on one of these calendar icons, iCal or GCal, and keep an eye out for more notifications as we get closer to the webinar. So they get notifications, and when the webinar's, and then they're invited to the webinar, and they brought to a countdown page prior to the event starting. But when the event starts, it actually goes into his live presentation, where he then, teaches quality content, talks about the podcast workshop information, and then they have an option to come into his membership platform. And this funnel does very, very well for him. It's an organic automated webinar funnel. And, I do something like this in a different way. I use live video. So I'll do a Periscope or Facebook Live broadcast and then drive people into my automated webinar there. But mine is done live in person, where his is kind of pre-recorded audio. But here's the thing. The cool thing about this is that you could create a podcast, you could create a blog, and you could then drive traffic from these points into your automated webinar. It's pretty cool stuff. So why add marketing automation to your webinar funnel? Well, here's the deal. In most cases, only 20 or 30% of registrants will actually show up to your webinar. So your webinar show up rate has gotten less and less nowadays. So it really is all about the follow up. So if 25% equals great show up rate, 75% express interest but didn't show up. Even if you convert 20 into sales, that's still 80% that didn't buy. Plus, those that didn't show up or left have early haven't even seen your offer yet. So because so many people are actually not even getting to your offer, what do? Well, you can make second chance sales using the power of automated webinars and the follow-up sequence. You can send segmented information to people that didn't show up to your webinar, that didn't stay till the end. Maybe they decided not to buy during the webinar and didn't see your invitation in the time of the webinar. These are the people that you want to send out different you want to send them out what I call a rebroadcast event or replay event, right? Now, a lot of people send to replay, but not very many send to rebroadcast, which is hugely powerful. And that's one of my 4 events in the event launch blueprint, which can increase your conversions by quite a bit. So marketing automation and system equals future nurturing. You could possibly talk to each subscriber based on their unique situation, give a recap of your webinar using rebroadcast, create another opportunity to buy or give them their first chance, send the replay after maybe a rebroadcast, invite to an encore presentation. Another word for rebroadcast is encore presentation. So why should you use a system like this? Well, clearly a system is great because it saves yourself time, energy, and money. And an automated funnel is powerful because it allows you to, it frees you up to do the things that you love in life. If you want to sit back, drink some Mai Tais on the beach or hang out with your family or, go do that travel trip that you've always wanted to do, or maybe even still work in style. I know that some of my favorite stuff is just going on a workcation. Workcations are great because it's like, now you're taking time, you're going and going to a hotel or sitting by the beach and you're working there and you're changing your environment and you're making money at the same time while doing it. So you don't feel bad about it, right? Okay, but we've got a problem. We just shared some awesome stuff, but we've definitely got a problem. Automated webinars done wrong can feel spammy and fake. And the truth is, it's all about setting up an expectation in the webinar itself. So if you're someone who has ever seen an automated webinar where someone said it was live and it wasn't, well, that's a problem because you don't want to necessarily lie and say it's live when it's not. In fact, some of the best things to do when doing any type of webinar, live or automated, is set up an expectation and anticipation of what the webinar experience is going to be. First off, the first thing I would do is for an automated webinar, I'd call it a workshop and I'd call it a streamed workshop. So think about what it does and break it down there. Don't call it live, but it does stream live. That's the power of it. It does stream, in fact, live. So oftentimes I'll say, join us for this live stream workshop, or this live, or this workshop. I'll say something like that. Or I'll say something like, sign up for this rebroadcast. That kind of wording is better than just saying, oh, we're completely live. You should check this out, right? So, in fact, for live and automated webinars, the event presentation, feels the same way, no matter if you're doing live or automated, but it is a question of setting up the environment. Oftentimes when doing a webinar, there are 2 things that I really focus on in the beginning of any webinar. 2 moments of your webinar presentation and how it can set up the rest of your event, right? These two things that I want to mention, and I already kind of alluded to it, it's expectation and anticipation. These are 2 things that are really important when starting a webinar, whether it's live or automated, because by setting up the expectation, let's say it's automated, and if you let people know that they can ask questions at the end, or if you let them know, hey, if I don't get to your questions a moderator will be answering you via email. By doing something like that, you set up an expectation for them, so they're not mad at you when you're not responding to their questions, right? So expectation and anticipation is powerful. Anticipation is what they're going to learn, which keeps them at the webinar. So if you say, hey, by the way, by the end of this, you're going to have clarity on these 5 things that are going to give you massive clarity and a chance to win, easy webinar, right? If you give also anticipation of like, there's a contest at the end of the program, that's another way to incentivize people to come. But let's talk very quickly about 2 strategies that encompass anticipation and expectation. And another idea or name of this is building the buzz. And this is something you want to do as soon as someone comes into a webinar room. Building a buzz is like getting them excited for what they're going to be learning, right? It's almost like what a barker will do, saying, step right up, we're going to be going on to the best, Ferris wheel in town. You'll be able to fly high in the sky and see the sights and see the sunrise and da 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 da. So creating that buzz is like getting them super excited. It's the pre-buzz show. So like, when I was a kid, my dad used to take me like to musicals, right? So I went to New York, and one of my first musicals I ever watched was Cats, which now makes everybody throw up. Everyone hates the musical Cats. But when I was a kid, I loved it because all the cat characters would come out into the audience and, start kind of acting like cats. And it got us excited about what the show was going to be about. It's like, oh, it's kind of going to be all about cats. And, it's like we get excited and eager in our seats. So building a buzz is like that pre-game, workout or pre-game, kind of, pre-show that just kind of gets people excited for the actual live event, right? So that creating that buzz is that time where you're going to use create that expectation and anticipation, right? So and I just said this, you welcome your attendees. This is something you can do here for creating the buzz. Welcome your attendees. Let them know to close distractions. These are actual action tips that you can do. Let them know you were still waiting for more to come in the door. You can incentivize them to share news on Facebook, maybe your Facebook fan page. Everyone who gets enrolled also gets a free gift. So you can say, hey, by the way, when if you're here, you're going to get a free gift by the end of this webinar. You can also build expectation and anticipation by giving them a glimpse of what they're going to learn and how it can benefit them. So something like this: by the end of this webinar, you're going to learn how you can use this 3-part system to sell your products and services successfully to a hungry audience within 48 hours. Now, the buzz should be about 5 to 10 minutes long. That's the length of time for the buzz, okay? All right, let's move on to the next strategy in your webinars, which is getting personal. Now, there are 2 parts of any webinar strategy. It's connecting with your audience via the heart and via the mind. So when you're connecting with them via the heart, it's all about your story as it relates to them. When you're talking about the mind or logic, right? It's your heart and logic are 2 things that people resonate with. Logic is talking about essentially showing them stats and things like that. So what I tend to do in strategy number 2 is get personal, because this is where you're now connecting with them on a heart level first. This is where I start talking about my story. So I'll talk about, who I am, why I'm there, why I'm the one that is, why I can be telling them about this, why I'm the expert sharing this information. I can show social proof at this point, where I've spoken, how many customers we have, et cetera, et cetera. And, a lot of people, they don't pull out all the stops here. And I really hate talking about myself, probably like you do. But, you got to kind of stifle that and just say, listen, you have to talk about yourself here, because this is the time that setting up that, that first impression. So let them know who you are. Tell them, that you've been featured on NBC or CBS. Tell them, you've been, featured in Huffington Post and et cetera, et cetera. Tell them those things, because it's important for them to know. So for me, when I do this, I always talk about how I was a broke actor, failed mortgage broker, and I created a successful 7-figure business online, right? So that's kind of the flow that I go through. So adding these two elements of anticipation and expectation, and those two first strategies of building a buzz and then sharing your story in a webinar, will allow you to have more engagement in your presentation, and you will feel far less spammy because you're setting up that expectation ahead of time. Does that make sense? Okay, so do I need to say it again? All right, maybe I will. Why not? Automated webinars equal the perfect evergreen experience. Listen, here's the thing. You don't have to believe me when I say this. The simple fact is that our customers have been testing this theory and compared to an evergreen launch funnel. Hands down, the automated webinar funnel beats out the traditional launch funnel every time. And I call this process the event launch blueprint when you're using the power of webinars to launch your products. Yes, there's that traditional way where you have 4 videos. It's the Jeff Walker way, which works really well. But I like this way too, which is the event launch blueprint, which is using the power of webinars to do launches, right? So you're using live webinars, rebroadcasts, replays, and automated webinars to essentially create full-blown promotion funnels, right? And these are the 4 types of events when using events to do a promotion. So I do a live event. I start with my live event on a specific day. I run my broadcast. Boom, that's what I do. The next day, I oftentimes set up a rebroadcast of that same event and send out news of it and say, hey, we're running a rebroadcast. It's happening either that night or tomorrow. Come in here and check it out. Now, after the rebroadcast is over, because on that rebroadcast, by the way, typically I can make as many sales as I did on the live webinar. And then as soon as that rebroadcast is done, and I have it streamed one more time, just one additional time, I then set up the limited time replay. And the replay can stream for, let's say, 2 or 3 days, where the bonuses that are expiring. And this is a full funnel. This is a full promotion funnel that lasts in probably about 5 to 7 days. Now, as soon as all of that is done, I can then take what that event was and put it into an automated webinar. So I take all of that, reschedule it, and I stream it out in my attendees' time zone in real time every single day, maybe 3 times a day, and I make sales, right? And this is where you make the sales while you sleep using the evergreen funnel. And those are the 4 steps of the event launch funnel. But a lot of people ask me, well, Casey, where can I learn about more of this stuff? Where can I really dive into everything I want, everything, I need to know about launching for webinars, doing automated webinars, creating high converting sales webinars that make me money? This is what I can share with you. Some other questions you may be having. Automated webinars. How can I type in automated webinars for automating and engaging, which means more time and freedom? How about launching my products? How about a blueprint for mapping out not only what each page of my webinar funnel should be, but also different techniques to getting more registrants and, of course, a better show-up rate on my webinars, or creating high-converting sales webinars, or using the power of automation to build better relationships with my audience and, in turn, sell my products and services in a less spammy and gross way? How can I learn all this stuff? Well, that's one more problem, because you need clarity, simplicity, and need a system. And there are very few of them out there. There are very few of them that cover everything that we're talking about, every aspect of webinars that you need to essentially build a business. You see, what we're teaching here is not just webinars, a live webinar. You're learning about the power of funnels for list building, for selling your courses and programs. See, webinars done right, you can use them to create coaching programs that you create even before you have the content ready to go. So you could actually use the power of webinars as the fulfillment program and do them live. You could do, say, 10 live webinars as a program that you sell ahead of time. And that's another thing that's powerful. So a strategy is probably one of the most important things that you need. A tool is great. If you have the tool that can do all this stuff that I just mentioned, and in fact, to foreshadow, Easy Webinar is that tool. It can do those live webinars, automated webinars, and it can be the tool that you use to, say, launch a coaching program, but you also need a strategy on how to do all that stuff, right? How to do all that stuff. And that's why I created a program that, I created this last year and tweaked it, changed it around this year, and people are loving it so far. It's my brand new program called Elite Webinar Mastery. And this program is both a live bootcamp training plus membership platform. So when I say membership, I mean there's archived training already in there, and you're gonna love it. It's 4 modules that teach essentially all the things needed for webinars. It's also a 6-week live in-person training where you can actually get your questions answered hot seat style, right? Which then we archive all that content. And to me, it is probably the most in-depth, and to some of the folks that have come through. In fact, we had one woman who called me saying that this is the most in-depth webinar training that she's ever experienced and ever had. And it's simple. It's we've designed it to where step by step, and you take it at your own pace. So in module 1, which is the foundation, we talk about things like what you can use a webinar for, the different applications and why. And your webinar topic is lesson 2. Lesson 3, what platforms are out there and what will you use? Lesson 4, what style of webinar should I do? Should I do me in front of the camera? Should I do presentations with slides? And if so, what is the best slide presentation software to use as well? Lesson 5, what are the needed tools for business? What do I need for running an online business and using webinars? So I don't just talk about webinars, I go beyond that. And lesson 6 is, what tech gear do I need to run my webinars, right? These are all questions that you may be having. In this lesson, we dive into what tech gear we use for running essentially a webinar studio from home, from audio to camera to lighting, and of course, how best to be wired in during a live presentation and the type of internet speed that is best, right? This is all in module 1, which we call the foundation. And in module 2, this is the pre-webinar phase, kind of the pre-webinar structure to where it's everything you do before the webinar starts. So in lesson 1, we talk about the overview of the webinar timeline, right? The best sales funnel on the planet. This is the kind of the 60,000 foot view. Lesson 2 is the breakdown of the webinar funnel itself. So we look at the pages all in a row to know finally what makes a webinar funnel. And then lesson 3 breaks down a high converting registration page. And this training, by the way, is awesome. We've rolled this in. It's super high value training to get more people signed up to your webinar. And we break out all the stuff. So we show you the right type of registration pages that work and the ones that don't. Lesson 4, the 3 types of thank you pages for greater attendance, more trust, and a cost-benefit solution. This is powerful because your thank you page are the most underutilized pages of all time in a webinar funnel. But what we do is we flip the script on that and show you just how they can be the most valuable pages in your funnel itself. All right. Lesson 5 is you finally start to understand the scheduling for your automated webinars, your live webinars, the different types of options that you have from automated to recurring in your attendees' local time zone or your own. So you'll learn the various scenarios that you can work with. And then lesson 6 is promoting your webinar, right? Let's say a webinar is 5 to 7 days out. How would you start marketing it? This lesson takes a deep dive into several things that you can start doing to market your audience to get more butts in seats, because that's the idea behind lesson 6. And of course, this is the idea for getting people not only signed up, but then showing up to the webinar itself. Now, if you've ever wanted to know what to do during a live presentation or how to create more engagement for your automated presentations that are streamed in real time during the live process, that's what module 3 is all about. We call it Webinar Day, right? Going live. Now, when we say going live, it's either going live or actually going automated. So the first thing is 6 strategies for more conversions in your webinars. Lesson 2 is the 5+ things your automated webinar should have in it. Slides themselves, different from a live webinar, right? Automated webinars have a unique scenario, and you have to focus on that. Lesson 3 is all about trusting your voice. In this lesson, we're going to talk about you and your abilities. Most people would rather die than speak in public. We're going to teach you how to feel comfortable when getting in front of that camera. Lesson 4 is creating the right environment for your live webinar. Part of being live, or the look of being live, is all about engagement. So in this lesson, we'll talk about engagement scenarios that can play major impacts in your webinars, like chat features, images, and your slides. And finally, lesson 5 is want to make it run like it's live, or want to make it run live. Let's say that you're someone who wants to do a live webinar. You don't necessarily want to do an automated webinar. Well, I'm going to show you how to do this with the technology that works with Easy Webinar. Okay. All right, now let's move to module 4, which is essentially the post-webinar phase. Now, this is where we break out the event launch blueprint. Lesson 1 is the overview of the event launch blueprint. You kind of start to understand how it works, how it can benefit you. And this system can perform 5 to 10 times better than the traditional method, and which also can make 4 times as much. It's pretty cool stuff. Lesson 2 is once it's done being live, now rebroadcast it. This is a 2x webinar sales method. I talked about it already a little bit. Pretty powerful. Lesson 3 is the timed replay. Lesson 4 is setting it all up and automating it into an evergreen sales system. Lesson 5 is email marketing follow-up and timing and copy optimization for greater sales. And then lesson 6 is cross-platform pollination. In this lesson, you'll learn how that it doesn't stop with your webinar funnel. You can actually cross-pollinate your different funnels, because the name of the game is getting more people to consume your content. And then lesson 7 is kind of this bonus lesson where we talk about Infusionsoft and Easy Webinar combined. Okay. So how should this content be consumed? Well, you want to take it at your own speed. Now, remember, this program is part archive membership content and part live class, right? So, you can take it at your own speed. Every live session is recorded and put into the members area. It's not a race. Rushing through it won't do you much good. So my suggestion is go through the modules one by one and rewatch again and again if necessary. Inside the program, we have assignments, course assignments, like homework. So you want to follow along and use those course assignments to make sure you're taking action and accountability. And finally, speaking of accountability, we have a members-only Facebook group. So come on in there. This is where you're going to ask questions during our live sessions. You'll be able to meet up with other people and find a buddy if needed, and ask questions at any point where we'll answer those questions. Okay? So again, it's the live sessions, right? They're Q&A, and they're designed for you to get clarity. They essentially encompass, at the end of each module, we do a live session to where we create clarity on that live session. So we say, okay, based on what you learned in module 1, what are your questions? Based on what you learned in module 2, what are your questions? So we foreshadow module 3. We actually cover maybe module 2 a little bit again. And it's mostly there to have your questions kind of filtered out. And here's a big tip for getting successful with webinars: consume other webinars, right? I know this seems like, well, that's obvious, but no, a lot of people don't. They don't do that. And by consuming other webinars, you'll know when a webinar is powerful or not. And so I definitely recommend doing it. The cool thing about the program that I have here is that it's curated properly. As the founder of Easy Webinar, we have over 6,500 customers, some of which are making $20,000 a day using Easy Webinar. And because I have the benefit of kind of sitting in the seat that sees all that information, sees all the things that are working and aren't, that's the type of content that I curate. That's the type of stuff that I put into this program, so that you can learn from the people that are actually doing it, that are actually making money on their webinars, live webinars, automated webinars. Not just myself, but actual members of my software, okay? The people that are using my platform, like coaching students who've actually had success with this stuff, okay? So I want to quickly talk about some stigmas all around automated webinars and live webinars. Automated webinars, that seem live are lying to people. What do you think? Well, I think this is wrong. The person using it improperly was lying, and That's where you have to differentiate the two. And that's why this program was designed to teach you the right way to create automated webinars in a less in so that you're not spammy. Here's another misconception with automated webinars. I can't have scarcity or make specific offers on Evergreen. And wrong again. Most people don't quite know how to roll in scarcity into their automated webinars or Evergreen offers, but there are certain killer tools and options out there that can make your offer as urgent as if you were closing for good in 48 hours. And that's a powerful element to it. Here's another one. If I don't have a high converting sales webinar, then I have to that I have. Oh, sorry. Here it is. If I don't have a high converting sales webinar that I've run live, I can't jump into automated webinars. Well, here's the thing. It's not necessarily true. You can jump right away into an automated webinar, but you want to do a live webinar first. And the good news is that this program teaches you how to run a live webinar first and then an automated webinar. So it kind of touches on both. Now, we've really dive into the automated because the overall goal for you is to have a system in place that's going to work for you while you do other things. And that's the power of automation. So here's another question. Do I need to have a product or service of my own to run a webinar? No, not with this program. With this program, you see, the power of this program is that it includes the software. It's both software and training combined, right? So it's going to give you everything you need, no matter whether you're skydiving over the Galapagos Islands or spelunking to the center of the earth. You'll have the software and the training that'll give you the success you need for both live and automated webinars. And here's another question. Can I learn this stuff if I'm a beginner? Well, we have to start somewhere. So I would say yes, but having a base knowledge of autoresponders, maybe some page builders and social media wouldn't hurt. And of course, understanding your own reason or vision for creating your company will certainly help you with this program. But I don't think it's necessary to have, full-blown product yet, because you can always promote other people's products or create your own training or coaching program that is that would before you even have a product. So technically, you don't necessarily need one. So to me, this program is right for you if you're using webinars or events in your business now to promote yourself, but maybe aren't using a system designed to get more registrants, attendees, and sales. Maybe it's not going as good as you wanted it to go. This is right for you if you want a better solution for promoting yourself out to the world that has search and social aspects. So search engine optimization. If you've wanted to afford a better solution for your events because GoToWebinar was charging you $500 a month, this is right for you. If you've been looking to create the most kick-butt automated sales funnel system around using engagement, this is right for you. If you've been looking for a simple system that does everything you need, which comes with an award-winning support staff and community ready to help, this is right for you. And if you want a simple-to-use system that houses all of your events in one place, or if you want to take one event and repurpose over and over again, this program is going to be the one for you, because this is what we've done for others. And here's John Lee Dumas. I mentioned him before. This is a quote that he sent to me. Casey is responsible for igniting my online sales, leading to 7 figures in sales and growing every day. Now, when he says responsible for igniting my online sales, he's mentioning the fact that I created the automated webinar funnel for him, which essentially makes him, as I said, $3,000 to $5,000 a day, which is his online automated sales. Okay. Here's Devin and Melanie Duncan. This is what Devin said. Everything Casey does is quality. His teaching is authentic and actionable, and his easy webinar software is working incredibly well in many of our businesses. He cares about his community, getting results, and was very hands-on while we were getting set up with his software if we hit any snags. We know that anytime we go to Casey, he will come through, right? Here's something that we've also done for others as well. Results from people using Easy Webinar and results from people who are my coaching students. These are my coaching students. I enjoy Casey's skill as a coach. Some people are great at teaching webinars, but not everybody is good at transferring knowledge to other people. I was in Bali during the live group coaching, and for me, it was 5 a.m. I was looking forward to getting up at 4:45 and learning what Casey had to teach for the day. Now, the fun thing about Bozadar is that he implemented my the 4 steps, the event launch blueprint, right? And when he did that, he increased his sales the next month by more than 50% when he incorporated the aspect of rebroadcasting, which I taught him. Here's April and Eric Perry. They have the Power of Moms. This is what April said. I actually have this in a video. He said, Casey has changed our lives. We're doing 2 to 3 live webinars a week with our family and a job. I was tired, but with automated webinars, we don't have the pressure. The webinar is running. People are so grateful we offer the webinars at 8 p.m. now. We couldn't do that before with live webinars. Thank you, Casey. And of course, John Lee Dumas, within his first week of setting him up, he did $16,000 from his automated webinar. Here's Jason Caruso, who I mentioned before, made $14,000 from his automated webinar. Here's Kimber Luna, who used Easy Webinar to do her live webinar launches in 2015. She did about $900,000 in 10 months, and it was mostly all doing using webinars. Here's another client, Kim Beasley, who uses Easy Webinar as a producer. So when she spoke at an event, she talked about her use of Easy Webinar and landed a client for a $75,000 retainer. Here are some creative uses of Easy Webinar. Diane Wilkins used Easy Webinar to build essentially a network TV show, an internet TV show. Right now, she sells airtime and makes about $5K to maybe $10K a month now from her network. She used Easy Webinar and my coaching program to essentially set this up. That's the powerful thing about it. It's not just like that we're going to set you up with an automated webinar. We're going to teach you how to use it, and then you could actually come up with different scenarios that make sense. Like she came up with this when she figured out how it worked, how Easy Webinar worked, how the training worked, and what you could do with it with this in-depth training. She went out and then she created a network all around it. You see, knowledge is power. Once you have this knowledge, you'll be able to see how it could be either, follow the blueprint step by step, or crack out of your shell and create something totally different and authentic, such as how Diane did. And that goes for Crane Krell, who used Easy Webinar to essentially create an online live summit. He ran it live and automated at the same time. And before, he was using GoToWebinar and just had no engagement. But with Easy Webinar, it had tons of engagement. And again, this is once you know how to use it, once you know the system, you can kind of go from there and do all sorts of stuff with it. Here's Brad Travers. Wow, got Easy Webinar on Sunday, watched a tutorial, set up my first webinar for today, and boom, $1,579 in sales for 1 hour Webby. Easy to use, great functionality, had no issues. Thanks for the quick response from Casey in the Facebook group to make it simple as possible to run. Just finished here's Tara, my first webinar using Easy Webinar after switching from, let's just say, another platform. Wow, it was amazing. My first sale came in, no tech issues, question button was awesome, switch between showing me on video and PowerPoint. Great job, Casey and his team. I think a lot of times we get caught up in the little details of technicalities of a newer system and forget the big picture of how this platform delivers on value. That was from Tara. Here's David. David sent this email to me when I was in the middle of my launch. He said, hey, Casey, I just want to let you know that I've made over $107,000 since last August using Easy Webinar. I love the software, and I just purchased 4.0. Here's John. I would like to personally thank you for an awesome product. Easy Webinar is contributing to about 90% of my income since I started using it in November. I'm making $20,000 a month without fail. I was making $5K before that, so big thanks. Feel free to reach out to me if you need any ideas to make the webinars even better. Here's Lisa Jackson. Looking forward to my next successful webinar with Easy Webinar. I'm so glad I bought the software. It's made my life so much easier, and I'm really starting to enjoy hosting my training webinars. Next step, automated webinars. Here's Lauren saying, this is about my coaching. You are awesome. Your coaching is superb, and you over-deliver. I can't thank you enough for today's call. I was so inspired. Some people come into your life and quickly go. Some stay for a while and leave footprints on your soul, the heart of my business. And we're never, ever the same. I am forever grateful that I have Casey as a mentor. I've had several coaches, and it's awesome when you absolutely know that your coach, Casey, even gets you and supports you. And this is great. This is very true. I go above and beyond. I want you to have success. And it's not about me so much, it's about you. So that's why we focus solely on you. Now, Elite Webinar Mastery is the program that has all this stuff rolled in. But it's closing tonight at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. it closes tonight. And it was closing 2 days ago, but here's what happened. It was my 9-year anniversary. And as such, we decided that we needed to take 2 days for ourselves. So at the end of the launch, I kind of switched priorities and spent 2 days with Diana. I made sure everything was working fine. My members were happy coming in because, of course, I did my live session yesterday, my first live session for Elite Webinar Mastery. So as such, because we took time for ourselves, and this is the power of when you run an online business, you decide the priority. And for me, my family is always going to be first. And the people that I try to attract I hope are the same way. Now, I'm not going to leave you high and dry, but I am going to, always kind of put my family first. And I hope that you would do the same thing as well, right? So tonight, I've extended, Elite Webinar Mastery enrollment till 9 p.m. Pacific Standard. But on this webinar, I have something super special that actually ends at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard, okay? So it ends in about 5 hours from now, okay? And that is a special bonus package. Now, first off, we have a full bonus package that comes with Elite Webinar Mastery that you can take advantage of, which totals about $17,000 in bonuses. But what ends today at 5 p.m. is full scope premium and online broadcasts as an additional bonus that I'm throwing in when you pick up Elite Webinar Mastery. So if you don't know, Full Scope is my software that is it's a list building software. It's a marketing and analytic tool for Periscope and Snapchat. And it essentially, when you use it with Periscope, you can normally know the people that are coming to your broadcasts. You can use live video to build an audience. And then you can actually use the cool thing about Full Scope Enterprise that I'm going to be giving to you that very few people have, only the people that have come through in a launch we did. And since then it's closed. So this is not available to the public right now. But the Full Scope Enterprise has the ability to build your email list. So when people are, say, coming into your Periscope broadcasts, if you ask them to put their email in, it'll automatically be added to your own autoresponder, which is really powerful. And we've noticed that there's a 50% conversion when people do this. So Full Scope Premium is the killer software that literally has thousands of users. Everybody uses. Experian uses. We have El Roker uses it. We have Brian Boitano, the Olympic skater, uses it. We have the Four Seasons uses it. The Monterey Bay Aquarium. We have tons of people that use it, and it's yours right now when you come into Elite Webinar Mastery. Now, the enterprise version will be sold at $1,000 a month very soon. So technically, this is a huge bonus value of like 12 grand a month, right? Now, we're also including online broadcasts, my teaching program as well. It's a membership platform. You're getting access to this membership platform when you do come into Elite Webinar Mastery as well. Now, the value of this program is $779. That's the total cost of this package when I launched it. Now, it could be potentially that's going to go up from here, the launch package. But this is the value of it now. And together, these two are the fast action bonuses that you get by taking action before 5 p.m. today. After 5 p.m., I'm not going to offer these bonuses to you. I can't guarantee that you'll be able to get these bonuses. So you need to be able to come in by 5 p.m. today to lock in those bonuses. So here's the total bonus package. The we have online broadcast, fullscope.tv premium, right? We also have the one-on-one. We have one-on-one live coaching. Now, this is where I'm going to put you in a hot seat, and we're going to work on your business one-on-one, where you are brought into the room. You can ask specific questions, and we can focus and dial in on your business specifically, okay? This is valued at $5,000 because this is a one-on-one live coaching. And I very rarely offer one-on-one live sessions, but this is an additional bonus that's hugely powerful that you can get access to as well. Also, easy webinar for a full year. Okay, you get the SaaS version for a full year. Now, this is valued at $500 plus. Okay. Easy Webinar is the webinar platform of choice, and it does live and automated webinars. So it's the tool, and you get it for free for a year. After that, it's $47 a month, but it doesn't kick in for 12 months or 365 days. So really, really powerful. And then we have over $10,000 of additional bonuses on the sales page, which you can check out when you come through. But those bonuses are anywhere from how to get land joint venture partners, or to how to use Infusionsoft, or Facebook ad training, or how to build an outsourced team, things like that. Has a ton of awesome content. Some of them are also Q&As from our previous sessions, previous coaching sessions, which are worth the price of admission alone. Those Q&A sessions, which are kind of mastermind sessions, you can figure out like how to price your products. You can figure out the different funnels to do. Oftentimes people that are in those sessions, they have the same questions as you, and we answered them. So definitely check those out. All of that stuff is valued at about $10,000. So total bonus package is about $16,000. This is going to be a complete program for you to learn from. Everything you want to know about using the power of building essentially a business online is here, because you can't build a business online without webinars or live video, and you get both. Live video is the new era, right? You can't, the old sales systems are gone. Even if you're a blogger, don't think you can't get away with doing webinars. You have to be doing webinars right now. Everybody is doing them. And automated webinars are also what everybody is doing too, to create the automation and the evergreen experience. So if you want to finally get clarity, finally change the way your life is going, possibly, maybe change how your webinars are performing, finally get clarity, finally have accountability, and get a program that is step-by-step, clear and concise, then come to elitewebinarmastery.com/live. Now, you can come get access by, there might be a button that's showing up below, or there's a description box that has a click here button on it, or you can simply go to elitewebinarmastery.com/live to get access. Okay. And remember, Easy Webinar, the new version is free when you come in for 12 months. Again, you can go to elitewebinarmastery.com/live to get access. Okay. All right, that's what you could do right now. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you what the program looks like. So I'm going to actually share my screen, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you do come in. For those who do come in, I want to show you the back end, what it feels like when you are consuming the content and getting ready for the live classes. Okay. So first, let me bring myself back in. Hello, I'm back. Okay, so I am back here. Great to see everybody. What I'm going to do right now is go into the Elite Webinar Mastery page here, right? And I'm going to just start sharing my screen so you can see exactly what's going on here, okay? Hold on one second. I think you're going to really appreciate how the course is laid out, and kind of the level of support that we have for it as well. So let me switch over here to desktop 2. Okay, there we go. So as soon as you become a member, you're going to get access. You're going to log in to your membership area. So you click login, right? Okay, I'm already logged in. So now I'm going to go to my dashboard. Now I can start with the intro. And in the intro, it's going to tell you when the next live session is going to be, right? Our next live session is in 6 days. Session 1, which we've just done, is being archived right now. And here's the list of the sessions. Here's how you can you can watch the archive of the last session. Then we also have an area where inside our Facebook group, we want you to sign up to get onto the hot seat right here, okay? we want to get you into the hot seat right here. So once you sign up, you're going to put your name and what you want us to focus on for your hot seat training. So that's actually inside the group here as well. And here we also have the Easy Webinar 12 months bonus. We have the online broadcast bonus, the full scope bonus as well. And again, as I said, that's by 5 o'clock today. If you come in, you'll get access to these programs right here. And then you can go into the dashboard and you could either check here for the class schedule. This is actually already going on. But then you can also see the sessions that are available. So you have right now session 1, which is foundation videos right here, right? Goes through all of these different, this different training. One is foundation. So in lesson 1, we talk about the uses for webinars. Each session, by the way, you know, when you play it, each session comes with homework, or actually each session, depending on the session, will come with homework and supporting documents. So for instance, here, this is the action that you'd take right here, right? And here's a customer avatar worksheet where you can download, and that customer avatar, you start filling that in. Here's the lesson slides right here, right? If you want the slides, the handout that we also give you, right? This handout is designed to help us to really determine your business right here and your audience, right? And then, you know, we keep moving. Lesson 3, lesson 4, they're all similar to that. Choosing your platforms, right? Some homework options. And then, you know, lesson 2 is rocking. It's in there, ready to go. And lesson 2 is all about, you know, we talk about the webinar timeline. I actually have a little whiteboard video that I've taught on here, okay? So you can see this is how it's laid out. Here are the bonuses right here. You can see all the bonuses that are listed. And all these bonuses, you dive in there and you can get a lot of good quality content right out of the gate. So actually, if I go to my dashboard, and I go to the bonuses right here. If I want to look at the hot seat bonuses, I go to hot seat, and this is where we have our hot seat recordings right here, which are really powerful, really helpful one-on-one coaching, which will help you to get some clarity in your business too. And all of these, again, these are about $10,000 worth of bonuses right here. And then, of course, the addition of Easy Webinar, the addition of the online broadcast and full scope TV puts it at about 17,000, almost 17,000. Also, we're here to answer your questions. So if you ever have any questions or need anything at all, you can send us an email directly here. In fact, you could send us questions, and then even, you know, the idea is that we want you to send homework via Elite Webinar Mastery. So you will be sending homework that way, but you can also send any questions they may have via the chat right here. So this is what the program looks like. It's really comprehensive, very, very detailed. And of course, you get access to the Facebook group as well. So ultimately, all you have to do is decide to go to elitewebinarmastery.com/live and come into the program. Come into the program before it's gone tonight. Tonight. Okay, that is when it's gone. Okay, just as an FYI, that's when it's gone. And so here's something you guys have to understand. Elite Webinar Mastery and Easy Webinar are two different programs. Okay, Elite Webinar Mastery is the training, and you can get Easy Webinar with it. Some people just get Easy Webinar, and that's fine. It's like having a tool that, you know, it's like buying a Ferrari, and you know, you figure out how to drive it. But what we want to do is give you a Ferrari and give you that open road to drive it. For those who are wondering about the difference between these two, one is a training and one is just the software. the new version of Easy Webinar is going out to all of our Easy Webinar customers, and as someone who's coming into Elite Webinar Mastery, you get access to that new version as well, which is pretty powerful. So it's pretty cool stuff. So guys, come in, become a member today. You have till 5 p.m. to get the bonuses. If you're coming in after that and you're watching this broadcast, still come in, because it's pretty powerful stuff, regardless of the fast action bonuses. It's accountability. It's the training that you need to make sure that you're getting things done. So with that being said, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm just going to check to see what kind of questions I have. How can a nonprofit use this? Okay, that's a great question. So Susan was asking, how can a nonprofit use this? Well, the power of a webinar for anybody who is like a nonprofit or a business that might, and a nonprofit still needs to sell something. So a lot of people don't realize that a nonprofit is still, having to sell a vision, a dream, a passion, a plan for the future, social good. And a webinar can craft that message. And an automated webinar can craft the message right away so that you can just have it ready, up and running. You can maybe drive people to that, to a cause, and that could be where you teach the cause through a webinar, and then they donate. You can actually have a donate button that's popped up, maybe have, say, like, listen, this is a campaign we're doing. You can donate funds to this campaign. This is how long it's going. So it can definitely work for any industry, no matter what the industry is. So just be aware of that. Let's see, we got hold on one second. Is this currently live or automated? This was shot live, and it's going to be automated later on. So when it comes to making an offer on an automated webinar, is there you can do it to where it's not spammy. This person was asking a question about scarcity and bonuses feeling spammy. So, the only time a bonus or scarcity is spammy is when you don't get the bonus. To me personally, a person that's a product creator can decide what they want to do with their content. If they don't want to give you a bonus, they don't have to. But the thing is, if they decide to offer up a bonus and you don't take it, that's not on them, that's on you. So technically, as long as they're still providing you the bonus after they've said there's a bonus and it's going to end at some point, then that's actually true. Even on an automated webinar, someone can say to you, hey, by the way, this bonus isn't going to be available after this webinar. Because even on an automated webinar, you can have a specific link that goes to that specific bonus. And then off that webinar, there's no way to get it, right? Now, smart people will know, okay, well, that's an automated webinar. I'm just going to get back on and then get the bonus there. But that's fine. If you're smart enough to do that, that's fine. But that's not necessarily spammy. All that is understanding the medium. It's not spammy. It's essentially saying that's how I'm going to consume this bonus. I can get this bonus this way. I can't get it any other way, right? If I say this bonus is only available on this webinar, that's not lying. That's actually truth, right? So that's a great question, Anne, about how do you not have those elements of spamminess in your bonuses and your scarcity. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Part-time job and need to expand my income. Yeah. So, this is where it makes a lot of sense for people. If you're someone who has a part-time job, someone who has where you can't, you can't work on this all the time. That's where the automated webinar power comes into play, right? So be sure everyone to go check out the website. Definitely go see what Elite Webinar Mastery, the actual website itself, looks like. I will direct you to that page. The Elite Webinar Mastery program looks like this. Elite Webinar Mastery. If you do go to Elite Webinar Mastery directly, just click on the Buy Now. It should take you into the membership page, which shows that there's 8 hours left to get into the course. And you'll see what it includes right here. And you can then come on through. So read some of this, look at what we have here. Obviously, this is for today. So people can probably still watch this training. But if you want to see what the bonuses look like, we're going to scroll down. Here are the modules. And here are the additional bonuses: Infusionsoft training, traffic with live video, managing your projects, Canva and Haiku Deck training, targeted one-on-one recording, Facebook ads, working with joint venture partners, branding yourself and your project, interviews with top webinar producers. That's over 10K in bonuses, now including 12 months of easy webinar, one-on-one coaching session, online broadcast, and full scope premium combined together. And you can see what people are saying via video. And here you have 2 options to join the program. There are 2 options to join the program. We understand that $1,900 might be too high for some people. Now, if you're wondering about the value of the program compared to the cost of the program, here's the thing. There are some people that go through this, and within their first month, they've made their money back. You see, if you think about this from a webinar point of view, if you're thinking about it that by the end of this course, Casey's going to have a webinar up and running with me, right? My goal is to have a webinar up and running. And that webinar, if I'm getting it even 40 or 50 people, let's say you get 40 people on a webinar, okay? 40 people on your webinar. That's how many people are there. Let's say 4 of them, you make a sale. Let's say you're selling a $500 program. That's either a training program that you've already created. Maybe it's a joint venture partner program. Maybe you found another product that you want to promote. So you can find other products to promote, say in ClickBank or JVZoo, and make money that way. Or maybe you want to sell a $500 coaching program. Maybe you want to make it 4 weeks of 2 live sessions a week and sell it for $500, and it's a 4-week program. Let's say you sell 4 of those. That's 10% conversion, because that's an average for a webinar. 10% conversion on a live webinar or even an automated webinar is about typical. So you sell 4 at the $500 point. That's $2,000. That should be what your first webinar should do. You should be able to do this within your first webinar, make your money back in this program. Whether you're selling your own programs, whether you're selling joint venture partnership programs, whether you're selling a 4-week live boot camp, okay? It doesn't matter. But here's what we've done. We've made this super simple for you to where you can get started for $372 today, and then it's just 5 additional payments of $372 every 30 days, okay? So if you click on here, you'll have the payment option of paying in full, which will still save you a little over $200 on the full package. But if you don't have the money, you can't afford it, you can go $372 right now, right? For essentially the next for 6 full payments. So you pay $372 now, and then 30 days from now, that's when you pay another payment that goes on for a total of 6 payments. And the idea behind this, though, is that this one payment of $19.97, you should be able, if you follow all the steps and you get a webinar up and you get people showing up to your webinar, you should be able, and you have a product that you're planning on selling. You do craft the webinar. All this stuff is what this program is for. So you craft the webinar. You have the funnel. You start sending traffic to it from Facebook ads or live video or anything, right? No matter what you're doing, and you're driving it to the webinar. If you are doing that, you should be able to make sales. You should be able to close the sale. So this $1,900 you can make your money back within probably less than 30 days of this program, if you follow the steps, right? Now, everybody is different, so I'm not going to guarantee that you're going to make that much. You can never guarantee what you do, but I can definitely say that we've had customers that have rocked it out, have had tons of success, and have found the program to be 10, 20, 30 times the value of the price itself, right? Because we've had customers that make 20,000 a day, right? So, paying $2,000 with the potential of making $20,000 a day. I'm not saying that that's going to be you, but you have to understand that this is the potential that you have with understanding how this stuff works. So if you're ready to take the plunge, if you're ready to jump in, go to elitewebinarmastery.com/live, or there you might see a link right on the page, this page itself. If you do, go ahead and click the Order Now button, and you'll be brought in to the order page itself directly. Okay. So, now is the time. Now is the time to get off the fence. If you've been waiting to do this, now is the time to get off the fence and do it. I want you to do one or the other. Either push forward, feel excited about it, and join the program and join the other people who have come into the program. Enjoy the live session, start learning from it, or don't. And, just understand the concepts that I taught you today, and try to put that somehow in your marketing without speeding up your learning curve. That it will probably take you, potentially months and months and months to get to where you want to be without a program like this. But I, of course, wish you the best of luck and want you to succeed. But if you want to speed up your learning curve and you want to get there faster, because you need to get there faster, then come into this program. The investment is, as I said, an investment. It's not inexpensive, and that's because you need to go through it. And if you go through it, you take it seriously, you will have success. So again, $1,997 or 3 payments of $372. It comes with $17,000 worth of bonuses. And now is the time to come through. Again, the online broadcast and full scope premium bonuses, I'm going to have those end at 5 p.m. today. So you have 4.5 hours to come into this program before it shuts down or before those bonuses expire. Okay. So come on through. Now is the time. And I, of course, can't wait to see you in the members area. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask on this page. But I will hopefully see you in the members area, add you to the Facebook group, and do a shout out for you as being one of our newest members of Elite Webinar Mastery when you come through. Okay, thank you so much again. This is Casey Zeman. I'm going to sign off. Thanks again for coming. I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous weekend, a happy and safe 4th of July. For those who are in the States, Independence Day, enjoy. And I hope to see you in the members area. I'll talk to you very soon. Okay, virtual high five. I'll see you later.